I'm Robin. I'm here with Alex Flanagan, who's a student here at UF. Alex, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to me.
Of course, Robin. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your career and your career goals. What are you hoping to do after you graduate from UF?
So I'm a sports media and journalism major, but my intention is to apply to law school and practice constitutional law, hopefully First Amendment law, after I graduate from the sports media program. Sorry, there's a little work being done on my the house I'm staying in, so it might be a little noisy. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're totally fine. Why law school? What kind of got you into that?
I don't know. My parents aren't lawyers or anything, but I have a couple of friends who do practice constitutional law. And I just have really been inspired by some of the classes, like particularly Clay Calvert's mass media law class, and just some of the things that constitutional lawyers do to protect Americans' freedoms, especially the primary five that are listed in the First Amendment: speech, assembly, like the freedom to petition, and hopefully I can use that even to to maybe help people who are working in the journalism industry in capacities like that.
Absolutely. What was it about Clay Calvert's class that was so inspirational to you?
It was just a lot of the facts, like a lot of the cases, and how precarious the law can be in terms of wording, vocabulary, and interpretation, and how it's not just something that's laid out, something that the law is something that's constantly evolving and needs to be protected and further defined to protect people's liberties, such as journalists. And that's a lot of what he talked about in the class.
Aside from classes, what are you doing to prepare yourself for your career field?
So for law school, as of right now, I'm just studying for the LSAT and kind of attending seminars to help me kind of understand what the experience would be as a lawyer. I've talked to a couple pre-professionals or professionals in the area who do constitutional law and have questioned them about like what their job entails for the most part. And then, but I'm also very involved in the INC and with ESPN Gainesville. So in terms of sports journalism and my major, a lot of the activities I am taking are like I write for ESPN Gainesville, and I'm trying to beat report for the tennis team this semester as well. So those are what I'm doing in that respect. And the next semester, I'll be doing the Pulse podcast immersion experience, which will kind of help me diversify my sports media experience. So like producing content and stuff like that.
Absolutely. What have you taken from your experience in ESPN Gainesville so far?
I guess the biggest thing I've taken is it's a grind. Like when you really choose to get involved in the sports media industry, if you really especially at our stage with not as much experience as professional, you really have to immerse yourself into all the different experiences to gain the experience needed to get a job after graduating, like in the sports media field, whether it be writing, producing, editing content for a station. So it's taught me first that I need to diversify and expand my knowledge to all parts of the sports media industry so I can make myself as useful as possible to a future employer. And then, as I mentioned before, that when you're doing that, it's normally an around the clock thing where you're constantly helping out the station and reporting news, whatever capacity they need you for.
Absolutely. So you're here at UF now. What made you choose Florida over other colleges?
So I'm not gonna lie, Bright Futures is a pretty nice deal. College is expensive, so that really helped me choose my decision. And then two, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started at UF, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do journalism or another major. So UF gave me the best option for me to explore all types of majors and fields with the experiences that you can allow yourself to be a part in at UF, and the multiple resources in all areas. So basically the great Florida in-state process of going to college through Bright Futures and diversified quality experiences at the university are what made me choose Florida.
Absolutely. Have you started putting out feelers for internships or anything like that?
Yeah, so I've applied to a couple internships, mostly in the Jacksonville area because that's where I'm from. So I'm talking to WJXT, a news station in Jacksonville right now, and Tim Deegan, who is one of the sports reporters there, to see if I can come in and work and kind of shadow him this summer covering sports in Jacksonville. And that kind of includes anything from Jaguars on the highest level to high school sports and other sporting events that happen, as it's kind of a larger metropolitan area. But I'm not sure about that yet because it's like the internship at the station is supposed to be primarily for non-sports journalism. So I'm kind of in talking to see if they could create a position for that. And then another station I applied to was Fox 26 in Houston, which has a really good sports journalism internship program there, which is connected to the larger FS1 in Fox Sports market. So those are the two I'm kind of looking at for this summer.
Why do you think it's so important to get that hands-on experience while you're in college?
I mean, I think especially for us as writers and sports media people, you can learn all you want in classes about how to interview people, write articles, frame news, but it really you don't really know how to do it until you actually start writing. You actually interview people, you work with editors, and get real experience and feedback on your work from people who are trying to monetize that industry. And although we have good experiences here at UF to help us get the experience needed to work those jobs, I think it's really important that you work with someone who's on a time deadline, has a lot of risk involved in terms of accuracy and reputably quoting sources and stuff. So I think that is one of the major experiences about getting hands-on experience outside the university.
What experience have you had so far in the industry that has impacted you the most in terms of, what you want to do or just things that you've learned?
Yeah, I think so. This semester, actually, I also in addition to the sports work, I am one of the editors at WUFT, and I was writing a brief from News Service Florida in which we were doing the population, like we were counting deaths county and per population county in the for Florida. And when I was doing the calculations, I made an error, and a couple days later, my boss Ethan contacted me on Slack and said, "Hey, how do you make these calculations? Where'd you get these numbers?" And I had to go back and correct it, email the people and tell them that I was wrong, and it was not a great experience. And I think that's probably the most I've learned, that like you really need to be extremely accurate, even when you think you've gone through everything and gotten everything right. It's always good to double check, ask other people to look at your work, because mistakes like that, like if I was in the real world, I worked for a company that I was on salary for, I could very well be not working right now. So I think that's one of the greatest experiences I've learned so far.
Absolutely. What advice do you have for incoming freshmen who want to get involved with the sports media department here at UF?
So a mistake I made, I was a PACE major, so I wasn't really on campus in classes talking to other students, but I really wish that my first semester, either whether it be summer B or the fall, I got and did the intro ESPN Gainesville experience immediately. Once you kind of start getting that hands-on experience, the doors to other more experience in positions like editors and covering major sports like basketball and football come a lot faster. So just don't wait to get involved or say, hey, oh, I'll have plenty of time to start getting experience. While you're taking a lighter course load, especially as a freshman, you have a lot of opportunity to get involved when you're not taking harder classes. So my advice would be get involved immediately. It'll help in your resume when you're done, in your portfolio, what you can provide to future employers. So don't wait to get involved in what you actually are training to do once you graduate.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with me today. This has been great.
Of course. Thank you so much, Robin. You asked some great questions.